Hey, hello, and welcome to another video. Chandresh Kudwa here. Hope you guys are doing fine. If you are confused as to how you should be practicing, what material you should be practicing, this is the video for you. All right, so let's talk about how long should one practice. You always hear and read in magazines and online interviews that your favorite artist or your favorite guitar player has been practicing for 6 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours, like really ridiculously long hours of practice. And if you do not practice that many hours, you have a feeling that probably you aren't doing enough. That's not the case, right? Um, the amount of time you need to put in will vary from individual to individual. Somebody may reap great benefits just by practicing an hour. Some might require 3 hours, some might require 6 hours. So it all really depends on you as an individual. So that's it's not always necessary to see how many hours you put in. What's really essential is to know how focused you've been, how intense has your practice session been. So let's say if you're texting and if you're WhatsApping and if you're on social media while you practice, that may not be the most productive amount of effort that you've put in for that day. So let's say you just have an hour and you've put in everything that you've got, and you've been completely honest with your practice and you've been completely into it, where you've not really diverted your attention whatsoever. That'll probably be way better than 6 hours sitting with your guitar but on social media doing 10 other things. So just going by the number of hours that you've put in is probably not the most wisest thing to do. If you're able to do a focused intense practice session for 6 to 8 hours, that's excellent. But if not, don't worry about it. You will see results even with a shorter amount of time. So next is, what material should you practice? I mean, we live in an age where you have access to whatever type of lessons that you want. So literally on a daily basis you could change who you're learning from and what you are learning. But again, that may not be the best thing to do. It's very easy to get swayed and just get fed up with whatever you've been working on for the last couple of days, and just there's this desire to just go and you look out for something else. I really don't suggest that. So let's say you sit down and ask yourself, what would you like to see yourself play after 3 to 6 months? Set a short-term goal, and based on that you can formulate a lesson plan, who you want to learn from, what you want to learn, and what you should practice, and do not deviate from that. Once you start off and make yourself a promise that this is what you're going to learn, just stick to that and try and get really good at it, to a point where you say that yes, this is how I wanted to play this, and now I've finally gotten there. The next most important thing is the usage of a metronome. You hear and read a lot of negative things about a metronome, where they say that you'll probably end up like a machine, you lose feel. I don't think it really does all of that. I've been playing long enough with the metronome, and it's probably one of the best things that I've done early on in my life. It really pushes you to play in time. You'd probably either get faster or slower if you didn't have the metronome, especially when you're trying to build skill. You're trying to still learn and fix a lot of your playing errors. A metronome really helps to put things in perspective. So I really suggest use a metronome. You can lose it when you don't want it, like once you've achieved whatever you think you should be achieving in terms of tightness. You can always play without a metronome, but nothing can replace playing with the metronome, so always remember that. Very important next point is record yourself playing. I can't stress this enough, but we have access to a recording equipment like our phones, which are always with us. You can audio record yourself, you can video record yourself, listen to yourself every maybe 10 days, every 15 days. You don't have to listen to your recordings every day, but let's say you record something today and the same lesson you play after 15 days, and then listen to yourself and see if there's been an improvement. And that self analysis is probably one of the best things that you can do when you're trying to learn. So I spoke about using a metronome to get tight in your playing, but always remember, do not use a metronome as well. It's a contradictory statement, but yes, also practice without a metronome and try to use your body metronome, your built-in metronome, your foot tap. It's extremely important to develop a sense of rhythm. You can practice subdivisions with your foot tap, like playing 8th notes, triplets, 16th notes. Yeah, just whatever. You can play your favorite rhythm from a song, you can play a solo. Leave the backing track, leave the metronome aside for this exercise, and just try and play in time just using your foot tap, and see if you're able to maintain time, and see if you're able to consistently keep that foot tapping going like a metronome, because it's extremely important. So there you go, my essential practice tips. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and do leave me your comments. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe, and I shall see you soon.